Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Lamar and this is a channel that is all about young people loving God and doing life together. Today, I will be talking about something that is very, very dear to my heart. Something that I've had the opportunity to do twice in my life. I'm going to be sharing some of the lessons I've learned, but also some of the places that I wish I'd done things differently. And I hope that you will be able to learn something. So today, I am going to be talking about picking up your life and moving to a whole new, different country. So for those of you who haven't watched my first video that I did here on YouTube, I talked a little bit about how right now I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I love it here. It's a beautiful, beautiful city with amazing people. But before that, I lived in Nairobi, Kenya. And I'm not from Nairobi, Kenya. I was actually born in Nairobi, Kenya, but my parents are natively from Uganda. So I grew up in Uganda until I was about 21, and then I moved to Nairobi to go to college. And I finished college and I worked there for a bit, and then through an amazing story, I keep saying it's an amazing story because it really is, I moved to America to go to Bible school, and I finished Bible school and now I'm working. And so yes, that is my story of the two different countries that I've picked up my life and moved to. All right, so the very first thing that I have learned about moving to a whole different country, whole different culture, finding new friends, finding a new job is that God already knew and you can trust Him. And it seems like a simple thing to say, but it really isn't. When you plan to do something, because the Bible says that the steps of the righteous are ordered by God, and He knows the plans that He has for you even before you plan them. He already knows what you're planning to do. When you decide to up and move, it's not like He's shocked, like, oh my goodness, Lamar decided to move to a whole different country, or Lamar decided to pick up her life and move. For whatever reason that you decide to move, God already knows and He's gone before you. So one of the stories that I experienced, or one of the miracles that I experienced with my journey of moving to the States, which is the second time I moved a whole different country, is I was working at a church in Nairobi, and because I love to worship, I just finished leading worship that Sunday, and this lady walks up to me and she says, Lamar, I don't even think she knew my name. No, she didn't know my name, but she walked up to me and she said, God has told me to support you in going to school. Now this is way before I decided to up and come to Bible school. And so when she walked up to me, I was like, no. I don't think that's a thing, but okay. You know, and like literally a few months later, God spoke to me, and I'd actually even forgotten about that conversation. And when I started raising money to come to Bible school, I was like, oh my goodness, this lady that talked to me before I even made this decision, and I was looking for her number, looking for her contact. And so it just taught me that God has already gone before me. So the second thing that I feel like I've learned from this process is plan and save, but get ready for adventure. And what I mean by that is, no matter how much you read up about a new culture, no matter how much you read up about the place that you're going to, there's things that you just will not know until you get there. And that's okay. And so I feel like when you prepare your mind to be surprised, when you prepare your mind to experience new things, when you prepare your mind for things that you wouldn't have planned for or bargained for or saved for, when those things come, you're not in shock and you're able to navigate those things a little bit better. Number 3 is pray and trust God for the right people to come into your life to help you with the process, and then be open to these people. I know that I've experienced this. One of the most important things when you move to a new culture, when you move to a new country, is having people come alongside you to help you navigate what everything looks like. Without people in your life when you move to a whole new different country, it can be a lot harder. A lot of times when you move to a new country, a new culture, these people will be so different from what you're used to. They might talk different, they might see things different, they might eat different, they might have different, even if they have the same interests and the same hobbies, their approach to those interests might be different. And I know one of the things that I did that I wish that I had done differently is when I moved to Nairobi, I met a lot of people, a lot of new people that were very similar to me in some ways, but were very different in other ways. And because I'd been sheltered growing up, it was kind of difficult for me to navigate new friendships because I'd kind of had the same friends until, the time that I moved away from home. And so a lot of times I felt like I was closed off and just very shy and very afraid to give myself and to be different and to, share what my life looks like or share my past experiences. And so a lot of times I would be invited either for sleepovers or for dinners or for just different things. And I was too afraid to go because I was so afraid of being different. So the fourth thing is probably one of my favorite in the things that God has taught me or that I've learned from just this whole experience of moving to a new culture and moving to a new country is do not be afraid not to know and don't be afraid to need help. Oh my goodness, I have so many stories of, especially when I moved to America, just things I honestly did not know how to do, things that I was experiencing for the first time. And I just needed a lot of help. And I know that one of the things that as human beings, we kind of feel that we're either not as intelligent, or if we ask, then we look foolish, or we don't look as educated when we don't know a particular thing that other people seem to, approach like it is just part of everyday life. And of course you should know how to do this, but then if you don't know how to do it, then there's something wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. And I'll just give one example. So Walmart is one of the shopping stores that, is all over America. And, most shopping stores in America have this thing called self-checkout, where you check out your groceries or whatever it is that you have bought, you check them out by yourself. And we don't have that back home, either in Kenya or Uganda, or at least when I was there, we didn't. Maybe they do now. But yes, at the time, I did not know how to use self-checkout. It was confusing. And I was so determined to learn. I can't remember why I insisted on using self-checkout anyway. I was in a situation where I needed to check out my groceries by myself and I didn't know how to. So I remember standing there and trying to figure things out. And the weird thing is that I had a friend with me, but I was like, nope, I'm gonna figure this out by myself, because if I don't, then she's going to think that there's something wrong with me. And I will never forget, she was taking a video of me trying to figure it out. And then she was literally waiting for me to ask for help. And finally I asked for help. I was like, hey, can you just come and help me navigate this whole self-checkout thing? And now I do it without even thinking twice. And so just looking back, I remember that day thinking, you know what? I'm going to be bold about the things that I don't know how to do. And I'm just gonna ask. And it's been almost 3 years of me living here, and there's still things that I do not know how to do, still things that confuse me. But I feel like I've just grown to be bold about asking, and know that that really doesn't say anything about my intelligence level. That doesn't say anything about my education level. It just simply says, I'm in a new culture. I'm in a new country. Things are done differently. And I'm still learning how those things are done. Number 5 is also another favorite of mine. And it is do not compare yourself. This is one of the things that will surely make you so frustrated when you move to a new culture or a new country. Is comparing yourself to people either your age or in the school that you're in or in the job that you're at, who just seem to have moved on with their life or are further on in their experience in life than you. And I love giving examples. So I'll, give examples to just kind of explain what I'm talking about. So when I first moved to Nairobi, Nairobi is a very fast-paced city. I love the culture there. It kind of grows on you. But the young people in Nairobi are go-getters. Oh my goodness. So when I moved to Nairobi, people that were younger than me, they had started working, they were doing gigs, they were making money, they had so much going on for them. And the culture that I'd grown up in wasn't quite like that. A lot of times people would live at home or live with their parents until they got a job. Even when they got a job, they would live with their parents in Uganda until maybe they got married. And a lot of that has changed since I lived there. But that's how it was when I first moved to Nairobi. So moving to this new culture, I was in shock. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm 21. I already came to, college kind of later than everybody else. I don't have a job. I'm not a gigging musician. I'm not all these things. And I remember feeling very frustrated a lot of the time because I just felt like I was behind in life. And I wish I had just, told myself that time will come. You are in a fresh country, a fresh culture. Things are done differently. It's going to take you some time to navigate it, and that is okay. Well, guys, that is all I had for you today. Those are 5 things that I have learned in my experience and in my journey of picking up my life and moving to a whole different country and a whole different culture. I would love to hear from you guys. So why don't you go ahead and comment in the comment section if there's things that I have talked about that you relate to, or maybe questions that you have. You're planning to move, you're planning to go to school in a different country or a different culture, you're pursuing a new job, you're following a spouse. Any questions that you have, I would love to, just start some conversation and maybe share some bit more of my experience and see how I can help answer your questions. But also, do not forget to hit subscribe on the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you would be notified every single time I post a new video. Until the very next video, I love you guys so much. Thank you for stopping by, and you have an amazing week.